Before I get stuck in with a project, I like to think of a couple of things before I begin. The first one is the style of the piece. The second is what finish I think would suit that style. And the third one is how sellable it's going to be. So, the finish of this one might surprise you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where I am not going to be putting a drop of paint on this piece at all. Yes, you heard, I'm going to be sanding this finish off, hopefully, if all goes according to plan. If it doesn't, then I will be painting it. Apologies about the lack of quality at the start of this video. The focus was off on my camera because just before I started filming, I dropped my entire camera on the floor and it seemed to go into some kind of shock mode, but it does regain focus and sort itself out very shortly. Back to the blanket box. So when I picked this blanket box up, I had a sneaking suspicion, and I really strongly hoped that it'd be very easy to sand the finish off. And I was right. I've done a few of these of this kind of era before, and usually the finish does sand off pretty easily. A lot of people ask me when I would choose sanding over chemical stripping. And for me personally, I would only use a chemical stripper if I knew the piece was not solid. So if it was veneer wood, or if there was lots and lots of intricate carved detail, or the piece had, was very leggy, it had like round legs or something. You can use a combination of both. So if you had a piece that had, detail but some flat surfaces, you could use sanding and chemical stripper. But for this piece, there was not a lot of detail. The finish was coming off really easily with my sander. It was fairly flat apart from the front. So that's why I chose to sand this piece. I'm using a 220 grit on my electric sander to get the finish off this. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the sander that I use, obviously it's got a hose attached which sucks the dust away while you're sanding, hence the reason I can sand inside. I will link a video top right now because every time this sander features in a video I do get asked questions. It's also got a foam pad on the sander itself, which means I can sand detail without carving away the wood, which is obviously something I do not want to do. So I just did the majority with my electric sander, and then to finish off all of the little bits of detail on the front, I just used a little bit of leftover sandpaper, folded it in half and did the rest by hand. So you've just spent a few hours sanding your piece back, and you absolutely love the colour of your oak, pine, whatever it is that you're painting. All you want to do is top coat, offer a little bit of protection and durability, and you are finished. Or so you think. So what happens when you put your top coat on is this. Dun dun dun, return of the orange ready tone wood, which is exactly the look that I don't want, because nobody really wants it, if I'm honest. Everybody wants this kind of pale, bleached, raw wood look. So, luckily, that isn't a top coat, that's water. But if you are tempted to just sand your piece back and then apply a water-based top coat over the top, and you don't think that the water-based top coat is going to alter the colour of your piece, you're probably wrong. And a good way to test is just by spraying or brushing on a little bit of water. You don't have to put that much on, I just did it for effect, for the camera. It's all for the camera. So you can just put a little bit of water on to test what colour. That's a really good indication of the colour that this piece is going to turn if I was to put a water-based top coat on. So I know that I need to do something about it to stop it going back to that colour. There are a few different techniques you could use to stop it from going back to its orangey ready colour. A really common one is paint washing. I've done it before and it's not my favourite. The downside is that you have to faff around and mix your own paint wash. So a paint wash is just watered down paint essentially. It can be a little bit drippy, a little bit runny, and in my opinion can go a little bit patchy if you're not careful. I prefer to use this product. It's a ready mixed water-based wood stain, and there's loads of different colours in the range. This particular shade is called Au Naturel, one of my favourite colours because I've used this over pine and oak, and it gives a really nice raw wood finish. It eliminates all the warmth, but it still keeps a lot of the character and the integrity of the wood grain. Obviously, a wood stain is designed to be sheer, so you can still see the wood grain through it. I'm not going to treat any of the wood with a primer or a clear primer because this wood stain is designed to soak into the grain. It is designed to look like it's part of the piece, not sit on top. Having said that, you can use it over the top of an existing finish if you wanted to. I just personally prefer to use it over sanded wood. It's a very easy product to work with. I personally find water-based stains easier to work with than oil-based stains. The way that I like to apply it is lightly spritz my surface with water first, and then I apply the product onto my applicator pad. That way you don't get any lines or tide marks. If you apply it directly to the wood can just suck onto the wood stain because it's obviously super dry and it's raw wood. It can suck onto the wood stain and then you can get kind of lines or tide marks in your finish. This way, if you add it to the applicator pad and then apply it to the surface, you get a much more even, consistent finish. And like I mentioned, it's water-based, so it is super quick to dry, and you can just see the difference here between the left side and the right side that I'm doing. It just eliminates all of those kind of reddy, orangey tones. It sits really nicely over oak and pine. I've used this colour on both, and it works really nicely to eliminate those warmer tones that people just don't want anymore, to give a nice raw wood finish. Just before I go any further, if you are getting value from this video, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, comment, share, all the things. And I believe also now there's something called hype here on YouTube, which I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I've heard it's good. So if you do have the hype button, if you could press that as well, if you think I'm worthy, that would also be amazing. Thank you. Just before I forget, I've launched a YouTube membership called Faff Fanatics. You'll get a look at behind the scenes, you'll get to ask questions real time. I go live painting every single Friday, and you'll also get access to my private Facebook community called Faff Club. First rule of Faff Club, we don't talk about Faff Club. So if that sounds like your thing and you want more behind the scenes, more paint, more chat, less polished nonsense and less edits, then the link is below. Come and join us. So the good thing about water-based wood stains is that I've mentioned they dry quickly, and this is a buildable product, meaning you can add multiple layers depending on the finish that you want. So if you just wanted a very, very sheer finish, you can just add one coat. As you can see, the top there is one coat, and it's still got that really nice kind of a little bit of warmth, but not too red, not too orange. I'm going to add a second coat on this piece just so it's nice and even and consistent, and because when you do put a top coat on, it does bring a little bit of warmth back in as well. So you do have to kind of bear that in mind. The top coat, or the finish that I'm going to use for this, is of course wax, because I absolutely love it. But you can add any top coat over the top of Voodoo Gel Stain. You can use any of Dixie Belle's top coats, including Gator Hide, depending on the durability and the sheen level and the finish that you want. I always like to apply my wax with a sponge just because I find it easier and it gives a nice thin even coat. And my dog is absolutely fascinated by me buffing the wax off, which isn't a step I always show, but I should, because a lot of people contact me and say they've used wax and it's now sticky and tacky on the surface. So this is a step that you definitely don't want to skip if you've used wax. Wax of any kind, gilding wax or oil-based wax, water-based wax, whatever you're using, if it's a waxy product, you have to buff the excess off. It's just part of how the product works. The same goes for the interior. I'm using an oil-based wax. This is called Big Mamas Butta, and it's in my favourite ever scent called Orange Grove. It smells amazing. So I'm just going to use that to refresh the interior, because I'm not going to paint it and I'm definitely not going to strip it, but it is a little bit kind of worn and faded. This will reduce any kind of light blemishes and scratches on the surface, and it just revives the wood, and you can use it over an existing finish like I am. Obviously this has got a dark varnish on, but it just gives a nice little kind of refresh. back to the existing finish. And again, always buff it. Always buff out your wax products. I'll show you a little close-up of how the interior finished up because this angle isn't particularly great. So that's the inside that you can see there. It turned out really nicely and smells gorgeous. This is a little close-up of that gorgeous raw toned look, and no one would know there's a wood stain on there because it does look just super natural and on trend. And here is the final look. As always, thank you for watching the video today. I hope you found it useful and enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and I'll catch you next time. Bye.